If you're struggling to write incredible melodies or figure out how to write melodies that actually get people's attention, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how you can write a melody 2 different ways. First way is if you have a beat, you have a track that you're listening to, you can write a melody based on the track. And the second way is if you have no track, you're starting over completely from scratch. I'm going to talk about that as well. So stick around to find out how you can write an effective and catchy melody that grabs people's attention using both methods. And God, I just want to take this opportunity to, one, thank you for waking me up this morning and helping me to live another day so I can inspire other songwriters. I pray that you will help me to help as many people as possible with these videos and also show them your love. I pray that some people will decide to invest in themselves and take their songwriting to the next level. I pray that I can impact them with greater good and continue to make your name known. I thank you for this opportunity. In your son's name, amen. Whoa, didn't see you there. Hey there, my friend. If you're new to this channel, my name is Jackie Ferrari, and this is a great place to be if you're a songwriter or you're looking to get songwriting advice. I'm an artist myself, been writing songs for several years now. I'm also a songwriting coach. I have a coaching program where I coach aspiring songwriters to help them do 2 things. 1 is to make more time for their music, and 2 is to help them write better songs faster. Now, if you're looking to get help with either of those things that I just mentioned, click the link in the description below to book a call with me to see if we're good fit to work together and see if you can actually become a part of the program. We'd love to have you. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So, how do you actually write a good melody? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you're in the right place, the perfect place. So, let's get into this. So, how do you actually write good melodies? So the first way, as I mentioned, this is if you have a track. And really, if you're looking to practice this, you can just go look up whatever type of beat you're looking for on YouTube. You can practice this method using already pre-made beats to YouTube, or if you have, your own beats that you've made, it's a great way to practice to that. But yeah, so here's how you actually write a good melody. This is kind of just a process that I like to use. Before I get into it, there's no one way to write a good melody. This is just a process that I like to use that I'm sharing with you, that I hope can actually be of help to you. This is just to give you ideas. Really, if you're stuck, there's no one right way. There's no one right process. And honestly, I don't write melodies the same way every single time. It usually varies, but this is a process that I like to go back to if I'm struggling to actually get something good down on paper or in a recording. So this is just a process you can use. So yeah, let's get into it. And I like to use this process with lyrics and melodies in combination to help me get a great song. So the very first thing you can do is, if you have the track, I know this is obvious, but listen to it the whole way through. Try not to do anything. Just listen to the track to get a feel for what the vibe is and how it sounds. Listen to it again a second way through. Try to figure out where each section of the song is. So identify where the chorus is, where the verse is, where the bridge is, if there is one, the outro, intro, all of that good stuff. Identify where each section of the song is. In part 3, this is where you actually get into melody writing. So the third time you listen to the song, now you can try to identify, good notes that you like, try to harmonize, hum along to the melody. Just try to hum along to the melody or mumble something. So just listen to the melody. Again, the first time, just listen to it the whole way through, don't do anything. The second time, listen to it, but identify where each section of the song is. So you can get a feel for where the layout of the song is and how it's laid out, how the beat is structured. The third time you're listening to it is to hum along to the beat just to see what you can come up with. Record everything. Don't censor yourself in terms of what you should hum, or even if you hum a wrong note, just hum. You're just getting ideas. It's almost like you're warming up your brain. It's like brainstorming ideas. It's kind of what this is. So this is actually very important to talk about before we actually get into how to write a melody. I will get into that in a minute, but I think this is the backbone of melody, and what I'm about to talk about is going to help you figure out a better way. It's going to help you write melodies faster. So you can't talk about melody without talking about rhythm. They go hand in hand. So rhythm is super important. If you want to write a great melody, it starts with the rhythm. You have to figure out what kind of rhythm do you want your song to have. Do you want it to be fast? Do you want it to be choppy? What kind of rhythm do you want it to have? And I'm going to talk to you a few different types of rhythm and identify what song should have what kind of rhythm in a second, and how you can best match the rhythm of the melody to your music. So yeah, let's go. So the very important thing to understand is, how does the rhythm actually relate to the beat? So for instance, if you have a fast beat, your beat's kind of fast, it's moving along. Do you want the rhythm to contrast the beat? Do you want the rhythm of your lyrics to have, or the rhythm of your melody to be fast along with the beat, or do you want it to be slow? That's kind of what I mean in terms of how the rhythm of your melody / lyrics relates to the rhythm of the beat. You got to figure that out. I mean, often identifying, the rhythm of the beat first can help you identify what kind of rhythm your melody should have, so that it can actually sound good, so that your rhythm can complement, contrast, or go along with the melody itself. So I'm going to talk to you about the 3 types of rhythm I just mentioned is, rhythm of your melody lyrics that either contrast the beat, that complements the beat, or that goes along with the beat. And I'm going to give you examples of different songs that use each type of rhythm and how each rhythm relates to the melody. And actually at the end of the video, I will also talk about more genre-specific stuff, because there's definitely a lot of trends in terms of rhythm and melody with different genres, what kinds of genres use what kind of rhythm, or what kind of rhythm contrasts what, and all that good stuff. So stick around to the end to find out more genre-specific stuff. If you write a certain genre, I'll be talking about a couple of the most popular genres of music: rock, pop, country, and a few others. So stick around to the end to find that out. Alright, so the very first way that I'm going to talk about today is contrast. And contrast, this is also the easiest way that you can use rhythm in tandem with the melody. So contrast is super important, one, because it really draws the listener in, and two, because a lot of the hit songs use it because it's really easy to use. That's why I think a lot of hit songs use it, and it's really easy for listeners to catch on. Contrast is one of those things where, so I'll give you a quick example. If you have a beat that's moving along really fast, like a tempo of 120, it's using a lot of 16th and 8th notes, it's got a very faster rhythm, something going super fast. Try to contrast that with a melody in your lyrics that has a slower rhythm. So for instance, a melody, you could use a melody over that beat, that fast moving beat. Use a melody that moves a lot slower for your lyrics. So for instance, you could have a melody that draws out the notes. Use more whole and half notes in the melody to contrast the fast rhythm of the beat. That's one way. And you can also do the opposite. Of course, you have a slower beat, use a faster rhythm, faster melody in your lyrics. Of course, you do the same thing. You just try playing around with the different types of contrast. There's lots of different types of contrast, but using contrast is really the first and easiest way that you can actually use, melody in tandem, melody of your lyrics in tandem with the beat to make them sound great together. And if you're struggling to figure this out, really, I would say start with contrast. In my opinion, as I said, it's the easiest way to do this, and it's the easiest one to start with. So try that out. Play around with different types of contrast. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this, if you played around with it, or if you have ideas for other ways that you can use contrast. Let me know in the comments below. I'll give you 2 quick examples of songs that have this type of contrast. So the first example is a commercial song. It's a song called Hard Place by Her, the singer Her. And the song, I really like it because the beat is kind of at a mellow, medium tempo. It's kind of slow, it really has that, this is R&B, so it kind of has a medium tempo, a nice soulful feel. And then it contrasts just the type of beat that she's singing to. The rhythm of her music, the rhythm of her lyrics are more longer syllables, and more whole notes, half notes. She's kind of drawing out her syllables. And I'm pumping, drawing everything out to kind of contrast. Not really fast tempo, but sort of upbeat. I'm gonna give you another example. Actually, is in one of my own songs, or a song that I'm actually currently working on. Let me show you real quick. Alright, so here's what I'm going to show you what I did with actually my own song. So this is kind of just a little bridge part that I'm working on, and I thought it'd be super cool to add some contrast, but yeah, let me go ahead and show you. I'll just sing this for you real quick. I'm the only one, I'm the only one, so hard. So yeah, that was a little thing with my own song. You could hear the little fast. You play this. I'm gonna solo this, so you can hear the bleep motion. It kind of has that fast, gives it a fast feel, and I had the kind of long, drawn-out melodies that kind of went behind that. So that's just one way you can use contrast, is in terms of your rhythm. If you got a slow beat, try making the rhythm faster. If you got a fast beat, try making the rhythm slower. It works super well, and it works really well, especially for popular music. Let's try it out. Alright, so we talked about contrast. Now another way that you can use rhythm to your advantage to write good songs is just make the rhythm of your lyrics and the rhythm of the melody exactly the same as the rhythm of the beat. So for instance, I'll give you an example of a great song that I think does this really well. Charlie Puth. He has a song called The Way I Am, which I think is a great example of this. So the rhythm in that song is In the first part of the verses, his rhythm of his melody, or his melody, goes da 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 da. So it follows that same exact pattern of the kick, and actually he layers a guitar on top of it, which I think is super cool. I know I'm getting too deep into production, but it's super cool. He's got the kick going, he's got the guitar, and his vocals all doing the same exact thing for a portion of the song. So that's another way you can use melodies to make the rhythm of your lyrics and the rhythm of your melody the same as the rhythm of the beat and the rhythm of the music. Alright, so one of the other ways that you can use rhythm to make good melodies is to make the rhythm similar to that, the rhythm of your lyrics and the rhythm of your melody, similar to that of the beat. Now, what I mean by this is, I'm going to give you a really good example. I think rap is actually really good for this. I honestly think that the best genre to do this in is rap. I think this is super effective in rap. A lot of rap songs do this really well. So I'll give you a quick example is The Search by NF. If you've heard that song, the rhythm is kind of the tempo I looked up, it's actually 120, which, you know, is a faster tempo. And, you know, NF's lyrics are also very fast. They're very jarring. They're, hey, Nate, how's life? I've been dealing with some things like every human being, and, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So the fast rhythm complements the fast beat. You can have the rhythm of your lyrics and the music complement the rhythm of the beat. As we talked about, you can have the rhythm contrast the beat. You could have the rhythm match the beat, be exactly the same, or you can have it complement the beat or be similar, not exactly the same, but have a similar feel. Alright, so now I think it'd be actually really helpful if I shared some super cool exercises into other tips and tricks that can actually help you if you're starting from scratch. As I said, I was going to share with you how you can write a melody if you have the track, which we just covered. So now, here's some things you can do if you don't have a track, if you're starting completely from scratch, or if you're even trying to create a track to write a melody too. You're just trying to get started from complete scratch. This is for you. This is a super cool trick. This actually works super well if you do not know music theory. This is a random chord generator. This site is called autochords.com. You can just go to autochords.com and pick random chord progressions. You can pick kind of mood that you want, rebellious. I like that. Let's try that. And try anything other than the key of C. Challenge yourself. Don't just write all your songs in the key of C. All right, piano, because I like to start in piano. Let's go with let's go with a natural key for now. All right, let's try this. And you get alternatives. I think you get the point. So yeah, with this chord generator, it's just to spark ideas. If you don't know music theory, it can just give you like 4 chords to start a song with, and then you can try the exercise I just mentioned. So for instance, this is the key of F. Go to your keyboard, the song's in the key of F, play F, or your guitar, whatever instrument you're playing, play F over and over and over, and just start harmonizing to F. And then you can do that same thing on top of the music, the same harmonies. You know, it may not work exactly the same depending on the chords in the song, but it's just something to get your brain going. Harmonize over F, just start singing to F, all the notes that you think sound good with that key, and then try to fit what you just did to the music. You know, you can try that, see if that works. That's one thing you can do. Alright, now that we've gone through rhythm, let's get into some melody stuff. How do you actually write a good melody? And we're going to talk about how you do that using a lot of the stuff that I just talked about. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, my friend, when it comes to melody writing, there's 2 different types of motion. You have the first type of motion, which is called stepwise motion. You have the second type of motion, which is called skipwise motion. So, with the first type of motion, we have stepwise motion. So what does that actually mean? So, when you talk about stepwise motion, we mean notes that are relatively close to one another. So, for instance, if I play these notes for you, those are all very close together. You can see that's stepwise motion. The notes move almost in succession, like you're almost like stepping. It's almost like stepping up the stairs. You're stepping, you may come back to go to a different note, and you're stepping. To go to a higher note, you may come down. To go to a lower note, you're stepping. It's almost like one note at a time. A lot of pop music uses stepwise motion or notes that are relatively close together because it's easier to catch on. Most people don't have super wide ranges. So if you want popular music, that's what you write. You want it to be able to be music that people can easily catch on to. You don't want to be all over the place with your leaps and your ranges. And stepwise motion consists of notes that are relatively close together. So let's move on to skipwise motion. Skipwise motion means exactly what it says. It's motion that kind of skips around. A lot of rock music uses quite a bit of skipwise motion. So in terms of skipwise motion, figuring out what note to go to, from what note to start at to what note to go to next. You know, knowing music theory helps, but if you don't know music theory, really honestly, it's just figuring out what notes go well together. So for instance, you could have one note, like say you have a C, and then you have a higher note, like an A here. These two sound really good together, so honestly you could go from C to A, you can go back down. It's really just picking what notes actually go together, or well, first of all figuring out what notes are in the key of the song and figuring out how you can kind of arrange those according to the melody. So you can even really just randomize this, like randomize, if you do know music theory, you can randomize what kind of intervals you want to use. You could randomize, so for instance, randomize a third, go a third up, you start at C, go a third up, and go a sixth up from that third up. Just go to C, go a third up, and go a sixth up, and go a third down. Like you can just play around with different combinations of that. Basically, you want to be able to skip a lot of different notes. In your skipwise motion, you don't want it to be all over the place where you're just jumping. Like you don't want it to be crazy. It's always a very good idea to combine stepwise motion with skipwise motion. If you use skipwise motion, I highly encourage you to use it sparingly, and preferably use it more in the chorus than in the verses. If that's what you want to do in your song, use it more in the choruses than in the verses. It works better. It can be more effective. Also, I will say, I don't know of any song in the world where it's just skipwise motion. Like there's definitely some stepwise motion involved in all songs, but skipwise motion is just a way that you can kind of change up the song without it getting too repetitive. So if you use stepwise motion, you can end up using a lot of the same notes in a lot of the same region or in a lot of the same territory of the keyboard. So if you want to be able to change it up by going higher, going lower, using skipwise motion is a great way to do that. It's also a great way to help you figure out harmonies. You can just pick an interval, kind of harmonize with the beat. You want to do it that way as well. Another trick that works well in terms of melody is harmonize with the beat. So in terms of humming, yeah, you can hum notes that are right on the beat or on the track, but try to harmonize with the track as well. So for instance, I'll just play a little something and I'll just show you a quick example. Try to harmonize with it. Play different melodies where you get good harmonies. Do the same thing with I'll just pick F sharp. Play around with it. Just pick any note in the keyboard or any note in the guitar. I usually like to start up my songs in the keyboard. It's just easy. It's the first instrument I learned is the piano. But if you like to start your songs in guitar or even a different instrument, it's totally cool. However you like to start your songs, but just play one note, pick a note, and just press it over and over, and just try to harmonize with that note. Hum any kind of melody, anything that comes to mind. And what really helps is you can do this exercise in conjunction with writing a song to a beat. So for instance, if you know the key of the beat, pick that note. So for instance, if the beat is in the key of E, play E. And then try to harmonize with E. You could do that. That could help. That's a way to get your creative brain flowing. If you're just feeling blocked, you're feeling stuck, that's an exercise that you can do. It'll help you. It'll get your brain warmed up to melody writing. That's something that you should try out. Try it out. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. I'd love to hear. So honestly, the exercise that I just mentioned really is like the best way, or in my opinion it is. It's a really good way just to get your creative juices flowing. Like I said, if you're just struggling to come up with ideas for a melody, or you just press one note, or you can even try pressing two notes to challenge yourselves. Kind of see what harmonies you come up with. Try to go to higher notes, try to go to your lower register, try to stay in the middle with some stepwise motion. Try just playing around with it. I think a lot of building and crafting a good melody is really just playing around with different notes and different kinds of motion, and also with different keys. You got to keep practicing. I encourage you, if you're really struggling with this, just practice with the one note exercise for now and build on to two and then build onto a full beat. But just practice. Ultimately, just practice, 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 and practice. That is my final tip, is to keep practicing. Now I'm going to share with you just a few genre-specific trends that I've noticed in terms of melody and rhythm. So let's start off with pop music, since it's, the most popular genre of music. So pop music, of course, by definition, is meant to be popular music, so you want it to be something that people can easily remember. And one of the things that works really well in a lot of hit songs, as I mentioned before, is contrast. Contrast is super key. I think it really just draws the listener in and makes songs more interesting when you use contrast between the beat and the lyrics/melody. So a good example of a song that uses a lot of contrast in terms of the lyrics, melody, and the beat is Stitches by Shawn Mendes. I think that song does a really good job. Da, 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 da. And then the melody, of course, kind of contrasts that with the rhythm of da 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 slower kind of jabby melody, but it kind of contrasts the continuous pulse of the beat itself in the music. So that's a song that I think does it really well in terms of contrast. Pop music also uses a lot of stepwise motion in terms of melody, so there's a lot of stepwise motion because, again, if the notes are closer together, more people can sing them. That's the whole point of pop music. You want it to be something that a lot of people can sing along to, and it actually has a lot of similarities to country, which I'll cover in a minute. But yeah, because genres are kind of merging together nowadays. Country music sounds a lot like pop. Not really vice versa, but country music is becoming more like pop music. Country is becoming less distinct as a genre. It still has its distinct elements, but it's becoming a lot more like pop music. So they have a lot of similarities in terms of rhythm and melody. And so rock music actually is kind of the opposite of pop and country. Rock music is that genre where you want people to be able to sing along to it, to be like, yeah, like we can do this. It's meant to be a music that unites people. But one of the interesting things is that rock music actually uses a lot of skipwise motion. A good example of this is Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard. Pour some sugar on me in the name of love. There's like a lot of different leaps, a lot of different skips in there. There's not a whole lot of stepwise motion. There's a lot of different leaps and skips. The choruses, they tend to be a lot higher than the verses. I think when people are singing higher, they're generally in shout mode and they're generally like united together. They're like, yeah, we can do this. And your voices tend to get higher. So I think that's what rock music does effectively, is uniting people, getting people to sing an anthem. And generally anthems are usually sung in a higher register. So that's something that rock music does really well. And it's funny because they're in a higher register, but then sometimes they'll skip to notes that are even higher. So sometimes it can be hard to sing. So some people, when they, you try to sing rock music, you usually are not in key. You usually are just like screaming and way off key, but it's super fun to sing. And I think that's one effective thing that rock music does. So our rock music uses a lot of skipwise motion. There are many rock songs that use a lot of skipwise motion. Use stepwise motion in your choruses, but if you write rock music, it can be effective to use skipwise motion to kind of draw the listener in, and especially keep your choruses in a higher register. Now, the interesting thing with country is that country, like pop, this is something I actually didn't mention, that pop music tends to have beats that are at faster tempos. Just because, people naturally groove more to beats that are at faster tempos. They are more inclined to listen to music that is at a faster tempo, that gets them moving, that gets them feeling upbeat. So that's more attractive to listeners. So that's why beats are usually at a faster tempo. A lot of country music, as I said, is becoming more like pop in the sense that the tempos are getting faster. There's a lot of country music that is more slow tempo, kind of like the R&B, which I'll get to in another minute. Country music does kind of follow a lot of the same trends of pop music. There also, again, is a lot of stepwise motion, very similar to pop. But I think it's different in that you can have a lot of country music that is slower. There's usually not a whole lot of pop music at slower tempos. Country music can range for a wide variety of tempos, but the music that sounds more like pop music is trending toward having faster tempos. So that means you can more easily use contrast in your rhythm and melody. So contrast is very easily used when you have a faster tempo, when you have a very slow tempo. In the middle, it can be kind of harder to use contrast, around the maybe 80 to 100 BPM range, but it can still be done effectively, but it just takes a lot of practice. So let's talk about rap real quick. And this is the one genre that often does not have a melody. Of course, rap, we all know, obviously has a rhythm, and I am not talking about mumble rap. This is real, legitimate, authentic rap. I'm not talking about mumble rap, so we're just going to disregard that. I don't even listen to mumble rap, so I hope you don't, but we're not even going to get into that. So anyway, rap is the one genre that's kind of tricky because it's like, okay, it has a rhythm but not really a melody. Really, when it comes to melody, it's good to just implement this. A lot of rap songs, there's a trend where you have a rap verse, you have a chorus where somebody sings, and then another rap verse. So really, when it comes to melody for rap songs, it's just best to use it in the chorus or even in the intro, wherever you decide to. If you decide to have a rap song with a chorus where somebody's singing, that's really where you can use a lot of the stuff we talked about. And usually, if you're going to make the chorus where somebody's singing, make the chorus sound a lot like a pop song, because hip-hop and rap is the most listened to genre of music in the world right now. It's very popular, so if you want people to be able to catch on to it, pop, I think, is pretty close. I don't know what the ranking exactly, but pop is pretty close in there, not far along behind hip-hop and rap. So if you want it to really catch on to listeners, you should make your songs, your choruses, a lot like the choruses of pop music, because that's really what draws listeners in, and that's becoming more of a trend. Again, genres are kind of merging together. Hip-hop and pop are kind of merging together in that sense, so it's good to be able to blend genres well, and take elements from one, use it to incorporate it to another to make your own style. A lot of rap, and again, as I said, a lot of, and I guess this even includes mumble rap too, a lot of rap has a very fast rhythm. Rhythm is very fast, very fast rhythm, and that's actually the kind of rap that I really like to write. I like to write fast rap songs. Rap is also one of the genres where it's actually super cool to use the rhythm of your lyrics in tandem with the melody or with the beat. So for instance, if you got a fast beat, it actually works really well in rap music to rap fast along to the fast beat. You can also rap of course also works very well with contrast. Like if you have a slow beat, it's gonna sound much better if you rap fast. Just in general, rap should be very wordy. You should have kind of a fast rhythm. I think that's kind of a new trend that listeners are really attaching onto now, is fast rap, kind of with the emergence of Eminem, other rappers. Fast rap is really catching on nowadays. So really just rap in general, I'd say no matter what your tempo is, try to write rap songs with the faster rhythm. It works so nicely. Oh my gosh, I love when I hear rap songs with a slow beat but a fast rhythm. It just works so well. And then also of course, like I said, when you have rap that has a faster beat, a song that I think does a really good job of this is Logic's 1-800, the song he did with Alessia Cara. I think I would consider that beat to be kind of fast. Logic's rap part kind of fast along with the beat. So I think rap works really well, but you can use contrast or have a fast rhythm, and it just works super well. It's one of the cool things about rap. Now let's move on to R&B. This is the last genre I'm going to get into before I cut this video. R&B is unique in that the music is usually done at a slower tempo, so that means there's lots of room for different kind of creativity, especially in contrast. I love that. But yeah, the melodies are usually slow and drawn out. Great example of this is Daniel Caesar and Her. They did a song called Best Part. Super good example. I just wanna see how you know who you are. The beat's like really slow. There's a lot of room for R&B, but R&B is usually at a slower tempo. You want to really give the music that soulful feel. This can work in contrast, but it can also really work in tandem with the beat, is to kind of draw out certain syllables and kind of have a syllable where you hold the notes for longer. I just want to go. There's a lot of that that goes on in R&B. So if you're looking for melodies, like you should really just draw out your melodies in R&B. Make your syllables a little bit longer, have fewer words to really contrast the beat. You want a lot of space. And melodies often, mainly because they are sung by, mainly because R&B is a genre of music primarily played and performed by African Americans. We tend to have notes, we tend to speak lower, we tend to sing lower, so we tend to sing in a lower register. So that is part of it. Of course, I know the genres are again merging, so there's a lot of different races who are tapping into different genres. Primarily it is African Americans, so you want to keep that in mind if you're writing R&B music. It is generally sung at a lower register, and the notes are usually slow and drawn out and more soulful. Man, I know that was a bit of a longer video today, but thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that video really helped you. And also, just want to remind you that this information is free, but free information can only get you so far. It can only go so far with free information. So if you're ready to take your songwriting to the next level, I've actually got an 8-week coaching program in which I'll be personally mentoring you in terms of helping you do two things. One is to help you make more time for your music. I know a lot of artists struggle with, and I don't want to necessarily say this is time management. What I do is a little more than time management. You use high performance habits to help you make more time for your music, so you can also, without sacrificing sleep or relationships. So you don't have to sacrifice sleep or relationships to make more time for your music. You can do it in a very efficient way. It's all about being efficient with your time, and I want to help you do that. Coaching and mentorship is so important. I've invested in coaching myself in terms of songwriting, and even in high performance coaching I've gotten myself. So if you're ready to take your songwriting to the next level, that's the first thing I help students do in the course. The second thing I help them do is write better songs faster. So I'm all about efficiency. So writing better songs faster, how you can train your brain to think faster, how you can train your brain to warm up, as some of the exercises I've showed you. So if you're ready to take your songwriting to the next level and you found these videos helpful, as I said, free information can only do so much. I really want to be able to help you, my friend. So if you're ready to take your songwriting to the next level, click the link in the description below to book a call to see if we are a good fit to work together. I really want to be able to get to know you and your songwriting style and see how I can best be of help to you, because this program is all about helping you become the super songwriter, become the best songwriter that you can be. So if you're ready to become a super songwriter and get coaching and mentorship from me, yours truly, and also join a community of other driven songwriters, click that link in the description below, and let's go ahead and take your songwriting to the next level. As always, thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to also quickly share with you in terms of my own music that I got some super cool new songs that I'm working on. I've got a super cool new song that I can't wait to drop. I'm just waiting to get it uploaded, finishing up some last stuff for the mixing and mastering. It's gonna be out soon. I can't wait for you to hear it, so I'll definitely put the description. As always, I really appreciate you. And again, as I said, if you're ready to take your songwriting to the next level, don't delay. Click the link in the description to see how I can best be of help to you. All right, my friend, that's it. I'll see you next time. Peace.